The Rialto Center for the Arts at Georgia State University presents Feed Your Senses, a monthly virtual concert series that takes place every third Wednesday of the month, featuring world-class performances by your favorite artist. Feed Your Senses is supported in part by the generous support of 100 Peachtree, Fulton County Arts and Culture, the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, and Georgia Council for the Arts. Thank you for joining us for today's performance. Please welcome to the stage Jerry Fields and Vecinos del Mundo present the rhythm and poetry of Tabla.
Much Rialto Theater, Laverne Perry, and all of you who are watching. This is my student Peter Arenz, and Brian Barazu is also a student of mine, and it's our honor to share this art form which, as Western drum set players, we're just scratching the surface. So just to tell you a little bit about the time cycles we'll be playing in. I know you want to hear some more playing and less talking. So the first thing we did was called ekahati, which is a one-hand padan. And traditionally, the tabla player would hold his hand in greeting to the audience. It's in a cycle of 16 beats called tintal. Now, the way that we count these rhythms is on our finger joints or with hand claps. So first, we're going to do on our finger joints. Pete's going to play teka while I count. You're going to play teka. Play teka. So the bowls are this. Din, din, na, ta, tin, tin, na. One more time, and it's this. Da, din, din, da, da, din, din. This is 9. Tin, tin, na, 13, 14, and we clap. Da, din, din, da, da, din, din, da, da, tin, tin, na, da, din, din, da. So everything we're going to play is going to be in that cycle. Now if we recite the first composition that we did, and it'll sound like this. 1, 2, and we go. Din, din, te, 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 din, na, na, te, 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 ta, te, 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 ta, na, te, 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 ta, na, te, 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 ta, na, ta, and that was me. So, little nervous, so we're going to do a composition now that I wrote to develop this finger here, na. So it's gay, na, 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 gay, na, da, gay, tin, na, 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 gay, na, da, gay, din, na, gay, na. And we're going to use, this thing is called lahera or nagma. So you'll hear the tintal cycle. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that kaida there was written for a student of mine, and one thing I want to tell you is that most of the compositions that you hear are going to have a T high at the end. And the T high that we played is kind of interesting because it didn't start on the beat. But a T high is basically a rhythmic cadence. It happens 3 times and resolves on the downbeat. A simple one, da-da-da-da-da, 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 and that would bring us down. So this next composition I received from Pandit Shankar Ghosh, and it's to develop the left hand, or the bayan. So collectively, this is called a set of tabla. This is the baya, or the daga, and this is the dayan, or the tabla. So here's another composition called a kaida. Kaida is like theme and variation, so like an etude, working on a particular problem. So this one has a lot of left hand in it. And it will end in a T high as well. And here we go. First, ga, ge, na, ge, na, ge, na, ga, ge, na, ge, te, na, ga, na, ke, na, ta. Ke na ke na ke na ge na ge te na ge na ga ge. So once again, there was a T-high in that one. And everything we are doing here in the first part in these kaidas is breaking the pulse into 2 or 4 equal parts, hopefully. And this next one is in Tishrajati, and Tishra means 3. So it can be 1.5, 3, 6, 12, multiples of 3. So we're going to recite this one first and jack up the tempo just a little bit. And we're going to recite it. Pete's going to clap. We're going to do a little bit of recitation so you see how it feels before we move on to some fixed compositions. So once again, this is Tishrajati, starting out in 1.5. Da ge na da tidikita de 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 da ge na da tidikita de de ge na tin na ke na ta ke na ta tidikita te 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 ta ke na da tidikita de 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 ge na din na ge na. So we're going to do that T-high again because I messed up my students. Here we go. I'll recite, you guys play. Dog in a dog, dog in a dog in a cut the gut, dig in the dog, cut the dog. Dog in a dog, dog in a dog in a cut the gut, dig in the dog, cut the dog. Dog in a dog, dog in a dog in a cut the gut, dig in the dog. So that's the way that works. Tishrajati. One interesting thing about that one is it had tirikita in it, which is kind of the roll in tabla, and katagadigi da, so that's a different stroke. One of the beautiful things about this instrument, dati-dagina, that's a 5. We're not thinking numbers per se, it's a language in itself, and there's a give and take in the teka. So when we're doing the tintal teka, it's like you start full. Da, din, din, da, da, you're emptying out. You go to what's called kali. It's like a big water wheel. So it starts full. The little buckets are emptying out. It scoops back around, fills back up. So it's a very circular type of music. And everything that we do in this poetic drumming, there's rhyming couplets. Dinagena, tinnakena, gegena, kekena. So these things are dancing back and forth between these two polarities within the tintal teka. The next part of our program, these are fixed compositions. And there's basically 6 schools of tabla, which you can look at it's all up on Wikipedia. But what we're going to play initially is from the Benares Gharana. And it's got some, you can make like a little dialogue out of this, actually. Because just like in Western drumming, you don't want to be you have to have some kind of a poetry and a give and take in your music, okay? It's just not like a machine, or you get a machine to do it. So this first one, dage tete tage tete. Kreda kreda cut. Din din na 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 na. Cut tete da cut da da cut da da cut tete da cut da da cut da da. So we're going to play this. This is a Benares. Everybody that knows tabla pretty much knows this this composition. So we're going to recite it first in tempo. Here we go. Dagitete, dagitete, kreda, kreda, cut, din, din, na, 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 cutty, da, da, cut, da, da, cut, da, da, cutty, da, da, cut, da, da, cut, da, da, cutty, da, da, cut, da, da, cut, da, da. Now we'll play it. Back to teen top. 13, 14, 15, 16 again. This judiciously. You could be dagade, dagade, kleda, kleda, cut, din, din, na, 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 tagida, da, tagada, tagada, tagida, da, tagada, tagada, tagida, da, tagada, tagada. So that last T-high is actually 3 7s. So the great maestros of this drum can envision this stuff, like you've all heard of Zakir Hussain, his father Alaraka. We're blessed to study with Guri Shankar Kamakar. And hopefully soon Yogesh Samzi. And I do want to say hi to Brian Palat, who's also one of my students, not here today, Anjanaya and his son Varenya, who are part of our Tabla Forum here in Atlanta. So the next composition is also Benares, and I'm going to steal a little bit from Zakir and what I saw Yogesh do. So it's like you're having a conversation, maybe a little bit, scolding him a bit. Da da din din na na tete tete. Katete katete katada 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 katete katada 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 katete katada katada katada. He's like, okay, man. So you can hear it. You're just not going to go, din, din, din. You're not going to play it. So da, da, din, din, na, na, te, 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 ka, te, te, ka, te, te, ka, te, da, ka, te, da, ka, te, da, ka, te, te, ka, te, da, ka, te, da, ka, te, da, ka, te, te, ka, te, ga, te, te, da, te, te, sum. So let's hear this recited with the Nagma. We use this, if you go to a classical Indian concert, you're going to see people doing this. You're going to see people doing that. You're also, when it's tabla player's time to shine, he's basically an accompanist. The sitar player, sarod player, whatever, will play a melody that shows the rhythmic cycle so he can do his thing. So here's that Binaras Tukra recited first. 11, 12. Here we go. Da da din din na na te 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 ka te te ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te da ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te da ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we play it. Now we're going to take the same bowls or sounds on the tabla. So the bowls on the tabla are the sounds that we play. And this is a chakradhar. So those of you who are familiar with yoga, you know the chakrasana is the wheel. So a chakradhar is a fixed composition as well. It ends in a T high, but the whole composition has to repeat 3 times to come back to 1. So Pete's going to clap Tintal Teka, and I'm going to recite this thing, and we'll show you how it works with the time cycle, and then we'll do our best to deliver it the way it should be done. So Pete's going to start. Da, din, din, da, da, din, din, da. Kali, 2, 3, 4, 13. So this has got 3. Da 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 din 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 na 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 te 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 ka te te ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te da 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 din 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 na 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 te 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 ka te ka te ka te da ka te da ka te da 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 din 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 na 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 te 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 ka te ka te ka te da ka te da ka te 1. So we will now play this once again. This is from the Banaras Gharana or School of Tabla Playing. Play. Da 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 din 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 na 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 te 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 ka te te ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te da 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 din 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 na 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 te 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 ka te te ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te da 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 din 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 na 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 te 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 ka te te ka te te ka te da ka te da ka te 1. Very good. So this next one is a bit challenging. It's a traditional chakradhar, and it's got titty-gita-det, titty-gita-det. So, titty-gita-det, titty-gita-det. Let's play titty-gita-det, titty-gita-det, titty-gita-det. Dage-te-te, tage-te-te. Kata. Then a T high, kata gege te te, kata gege te te, kata gadi gena da, kata gege te te, kata gege te, kata gadi gena da, kata gege te te, kata gege te te, kata gadi gena da, and there's a gap. So that is the composition, but it does not end on sum or the downbeat until we've played that whole cycle 3 times. So let's just play the T high one thing. Cut the gigi tete run cut the gigi tete cut the gigi tete cut the gigi na ta cut the gigi tete cut the gigi tete cut the gigi tete cut the gigi tete cut the gigi na ta. The last time that's going to bring us on home. And this is a new one for us, so we're going to do our best. So that's the first section of our program, everything in 16 beats. I know there's a lot of you out there that are Western drummers, and you're interested in what's called odd time. And a dear friend of mine, author of 2 great tabla books, Alok Dutta, once said, it's not evenly divisible by 2. So 5 is 2.5. You know, things like that. I'm going to try to do other math, but I'll probably mess myself up. So this is in what's called Japta, and we're going to do a Rela. Now, a Rela is also an improvised composition, just like the kaida. And it means basically like a rolling motion, okay? So, and the really advanced tabla players, I mean, it's like a blur. So, but first, Pete's going to demonstrate this teka, which is dinna, din, dinna, tinna, din, dinna. So it's basically 10-beat cycle, 2-3, 2-3, okay? So here we go, 1, 2, and dinna, din, dinna, tinna, din, dinna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dinna, din, dinna, dinna, din, dinna, dinna. Din, din, na, tin, na, din, din, na. So everything will be in this time cycle, and this is going to challenge us a bit. This is going to be rather brisk, but here we go. One thing I've learned about doing this is you have to change the time cycle on this app, or you don't know what's happened to you. So I've got to go to 10 beats now, and it's called Japtal. And we're doing Rag Kirwani. 7, 8, 9, 10. Dinna, din, dinna, tinna, din, dinna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Da, tiri, kita, taka, dere, dere, kita, taka. Da, tiri, kita, taka, dere, dere, kita, taka. Tinna, kiti, taka, ta. Tiri, kita, taka, tere, tere, kita, taka. Ta, tiri, kita, taka, dere, dere, kita, taka. Dinna, kiti. So that regla, once again, ends in a T high. Then times 3, and it goes back. This final composition in 10 beats, I'm really going to try to do justice to, because this is an original composition by Pandit Gaurishankar Kamakar, who has graced us with his tutelage here in Atlanta. And it combines 2 different styles. There's the Delhi style, which is all 2 fingers, which was the first gharana, followed by Lucknow, etc. And more of the open style, like Punjab, and reverse, which comes from the Pakawaj tradition. So if you ever seen the Hare Krishnas, they're playing on these side drums. They're actually from South India. They're called mridangam. Pakawaj looks very similar. And some say that it's the ancestor of the tabla. When the singing style became a little more mellow, that was drowning everything out. So the big drum's very good for playing outside. Tabla's a little more subtle. So this composition really grooves. So we're going to put it in a groove tempo and really try to do justice to this, because I've been playing around with it, doing like kind of New Orleans style and Afro-Cuban style. So this is the composition, original, first line like this, second line like this, in 10 beats. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Da, da, te, te, da, ge, na, da, ge, din, na, ge, na, de, te, ta, ge, na, da, ge, na, da, di, da, ge, tin, na, ke, na, ta. Ta, te, ke, na, ta, te, ta, ke, na, ta, ke, tin, na, ke. De, da, ge, na, da, ti, da, ge, din, na, ge, na, da. So what's really cool about that, once again, that's Guru Shankar Kamakars, and I'm watching our time, is I took that same thing and did like a clave to it. Da da te te gena da te te da gena da ge tinna gena te 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 da gena da te da gena da te da ge tinna gena ta da te te gena ta te te da gena da ge tinna te 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 da gena da te da gena da te da ge tinna gena. Put a little bell pattern to it. So I'm going to let you hear a little track I made, and we're going to play a variation over this. This is a little Afro-Cuban version of that last thing, because part of what I'm trying to do is, if you're not going to play tabla, and maybe it's advisable that we never picked it up, but it is a wonderful disease to have, how can you use this? So for instance, you know, in Western drumming, we can play a paradiddle all day long and talk. You cannot do that with this, because everything you say is a specific stroke or combination of strokes. So it's very good for mindfulness, and it also helps you with phrasing. Just like if you're going like 3/4, 1 e and a 2 e and a 3 e and a, rather than going 1 e and a 2 e, you just so takita 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 against it. Takadimi 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 takita 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 ta. So it's a much more natural flow. Dati dagina dati dagina dagitinakina. That's 16 beats, 2 5s and a 6. So let me see if I can pull this up, and we'll entertain you a little bit of that, and then maybe one more application, because I did get some questions about some applications here. Here's my moises. And I have to thank my son for this. So this is what you just heard, and I hope it's not too loud. We'll find out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Let's recite the theme. Etc. And a thing I picked up from Zakir, who did a clinic here one time too, we're upbeat oriented in jazz, so we're always on the backbeat. This is very downbeat oriented music. You're all trying to get home. It's like the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. You know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti wants to resolve. So we're all trying to get back to Oz in this. And when I grew up playing, it's like keep the one in your pocket. So Zakir happened to notice, very famous Delhi kaida, and because he was hanging out with members of Santana's band, then also, and another thing that Zakir said that was very beautiful, we're intimidated by this. You see any tabla player, but it's like, hey man, it's a drum. So I'm going to close with another thing that's very dear to my heart. And these guys don't know what I'm about to do, but I appreciate you guys standing up as well. Think of this as a seventh inning stretch for all you in the audience, okay? So basically, very simple. Taka, 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 taka. That's 8. 1 and 2 and 3. Taka, 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 boom. So you're alternating your feet, very simple. In that 8 possibilities, if we do 2 3s and a 2, or a 3-2-3, or a 2-3-3, that's permutations. And that is something that kind of happens. So if we're doing this, taka, 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 1, 2, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that's the first. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But the trick is to keep the clap the same or to step. So we're going to get a little more advanced than that once the guys stand up. So basically, this is simple. I'll do this. Taka, taka. You guys can keep the taka going. Taka. Just do this for me, guys. That's our beat. Taki, taki, taka, taki, taki. Very common rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Taki, ta. Next. Taki, ta, tak, taki, ta, 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 tak, taki, ta, taki, ta, taka, taki, ta, taki, taka, taki, ta, etc. Now these gentlemen will stand up, and I'm using South Indian Kona call. Ta is 1, tak is 2, takit is 3, takidim is 4, taniginatum is 5. So it's really good, taniginatum, tanaginum, takatakidim ta. Really good for reciting. It's not specifically what they play. So in this, we're going to do taka takita, which is a 5, taka takita, a 7, and taka dimi. If we were to do it on drums, I could very simply go right, left, left for the 5, taka, takita for the 7, taka, takita, then taka, dimi is a paradiddle, which shifts to the other side. So I'm going taka, takita, takita, taka, dimi. Left hand starts. So right hand, left hand dominant. So what we're going to do, starting with our left foot, taka, takita, taka, takita, taka, dimi. Then the right foot starts. Taka, takita, taka, taka, dimi, right foot, takita, taka. How about reciting, guys? Taka, dimi, taka. You too, in the audience. Taka, good. Little loud, good, guys. You getting it? Very good. And taka, takita, taka, you can go as fast as you want. So I have found this through teaching mindfulness classes. It gets more senses involved. But most people, if you ask them to walk, they can't walk, or even this. Or you stomp. So the thing is, it's just a relaxed sway. Thank you very much for having us. Once again, Peter Arenz and Brian Barazu. I'm Jerry Fields, and thank you very much.